I could be wrong. I'm not wrong. What Mehdi said here doesn't sound at all like what Vivek said in that clip. I don't think his summary of that clip was accurate.
It's a simple question. It's your words. It's on screen.
I think
what did he do that was downright abhorrent?
Somebody asked if they think it looks good or not. I
need some help, bro. Okay, this is not live, bro.
Stay as far away.
I think we do need an outsider. I think it's good to have a business background. But I'm also an outsider who deeply understands the law and the Constitution in this country.
Do you hear? I don't know. I'm hearing things. Do you hear a little bit? I don't know if it's intentional or what his voice sounds like. A little bit of him trying to do Trump. He's trying to do this kind of thing, or he's like, am I crazy? Do you hear it a little bit?
But I'm also an outsider who deeply understands the law and the Constitution in this country.
Like that. Like that, the inflection at the end there. Listen at 135. This country.
Life like, this is what your life like. Try to live the life right.
This country. I feel like it's a Trumpian
outsider who deeply understands the law and the Constitution in this country. And I think that's the unique combination that
combination. I don't know. I might just be hallucinating, or maybe it's just the way that he talks too, but I feel like I hear it. I can't tell.
So you talk about your business background. Let's talk about that. You made your name and made a lot of your early big money from pushing an Alzheimer's drug that had already failed 4 clinical trials when you bought it. You then talked it up on CNBC, in Forbes, on the cover. Jesus. Your company's subsidiary shot up by billions in value when it went public in 2015. But then the drug failed its phase 3 trial on your watch. The company lost 75% of its value in a single day. Ordinary investors like the California State Teachers Pension Fund lost hundreds of thousands of dollars.
What do you want? We're watching a political video right now. Do you have something relevant, or are you just hanging out? MSNBC is doing an interview with Vivek Ramaswamy.
Cool. W-stream. W-stream.
But you cashed out beforehand via your parent company to the tune of, I believe, over $37 million. Your critics say it's a classic pump and dump scheme. What do you say to them?
99.7% of Alzheimer's drugs have failed. That's thousands of drugs. Mine was one of them. But the company I founded, Roivant, developed a range of medicines. And the way I made my money was not through the failure of that Alzheimer's drug. This is one of the pieces of misinformation from opposition research. I could have sold shares in that subsidiary Alzheimer's company, but didn't. So the person who was hurt by that was me.
Hold on.
But
you say this a lot, but you
succeed.
did sell shares in Roivant, and you made $37 million.
And Mehdi,
$37 million.
Mehdi, I think you owe it to your audience. Mehdi, I think you owe it to your audience to be accurate. That is shares in a different company, not Axovant. And those shares that I sold are worth, and those shares are worth dramatically more today. So I would have made more money had I held on to those shares. So don't believe what the opposition research purveys through the media.
It's not opposition research. We looked at your tax returns, which you very kindly have released.
Yeah, exactly.
And
which I voluntarily released because I want to be transparent.
You made $300,000 in 2014 on capital.
You hear, right? He does do like the Trump voice. I don't think I'm exaggerating that or making that. I think he literally tries explicitly to do like the Trump voice. There's like a weird inflection. Or I don't know what it is, but yeah, he definitely. Okay, good. I'm not crazy.
Capital gains. In 2015, after the IPO of this Axovant, you made $37 million in capital gains. Yet others didn't make that kind of money.
Also, buying or selling in a parent company is not the defense that is it Ramaswamy, Vivek, that he's trying to, that's not a good defense. That was just my parent company. Now, I don't know the details of this to know if there was any improper behavior or not. If he hasn't been prosecuted for anything, I would lean towards probably just companies doing company things. But yeah, but well, that was the parent company. It's not necessarily a good, yeah.
Mehdi, give me a break. After Roivant, the multi-billion-dollar business.
Okay, actually, hold on one sec. He's literally doing the Trump hand things right now. Well, I mean, like, a lot of people speak with their hands. Are they the Trump? Is it a Trump hand thing?
That developed 40 plus medicines. Yes, I sold shares in that, and that business, if I may actually allow you to know how I made my money, developed 5 FDA approved therapies that are now FDA approved today.
After you sold
one of them is a life-saving therapy
FDA
in kids.
When you were CEO,
another one,
were
they were FDA, actually, over the time that I developed them, we took them all the way through phase 3, and then we did a $3 billion deal that actually...
They were approved a year and a half later after you sold the company.
Yes, so Mehdi, I'm not going to...
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm not going to fault you for not knowing the first thing about biotech because that's not your job. But getting through phase 3 is the final stage of clinical testing before you hand in the application. Yes, my company did a $3 billion deal that actually did make money for those shareholders. And so, yes, I have built Roivant's a publicly traded company, nearly $10 billion public company today that I built as the sole founder from scratch as one of several companies that I've built. So, yes, I have a business record that I'm proud of and will equip me to lead this country.
Stage 3 trials. The Alzheimer's drug failed it after you did a lot of touting of it. You say 99.7% failed. You never said that at the time. Do you have any regrets about how you hyped that drug?
I did say that.
CEO of Roivant said this week that you hyped the drug. Do you regret hyping it?
We did not hype the drug. To the contrary, actually, one of the things that I found
this week.
Well, I can't speak for what is or isn't. I haven't read any article that you're quoting, so I don't exactly know what you're referring to. The medicines that I did develop, I'm proud of, and you don't get there without having a number of medicines that you test along the way. And the other thing I will say is our success rate under my watch was higher than probably nearly 99.9% of biotech startups in the last decade. So, yeah, I stand by that record. I'm not afraid of taking risks. That's part of the American spirit, and I stand by it.
Technically, the successes were a year and a half after you sold the company, but we'll get bogged down. Let's talk politics.
Mehdi, that's dead wrong, and I would sorry to say you're embarrassing yourself in front of anybody who knows anything about biotech for knowing that phase 3 trials are the final stage.
Okay.
The final stage, the FDA phase 3 studies succeeded. So you're barking up the wrong tree, but we can continue to move on.
Let's talk politics. Let's talk politics. We do. We want to talk lots of stuff.
Sure.
You're an advocate, your critics say, of fantasy politics, of magical thinking. They say you propose stuff that can't.
That's what I mean when I say, like, I don't know how I would feel about being, like, mainstream. Like, this is a mainstream interview, but it sounds like dog shit. Like, this is kind of a hit piece. So Medhi is kind of doing a hit piece on this guy. Here's some, like, dirt I found. How do you respond? And Vivek's answers, if true, are compelling, but he also just sounds like a politician when he says them. Like, it's totally fair to say, bro, my company, yeah, I wasn't there when I got FDA approval, but I was there when we passed phase 3 trials. That's your big step. That's where most of your drugs go to die, bro. Like, how are you going to fault me for this? But for some reason, assuming his statements are correct, they're right, but he sounds like a liar when he says it. I don't know. This is kind of what Medhi does. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I don't like these interviews. God.
Be done. For example, you said on Meet the Press the other week that if you had been in Mike Pence's place on January the 6th, you would have insisted on first passing a bill that night to bring in single-day voting on election day with paper ballots.
That's inaccurate.
Government issued
I never
ID.
said that night. I never said that night.
You what you would have done on January the 6th, and you said I would have done this. And
I said what I would have done differently is that I was precise about the period between, and this is still ambitious, I will admit, but at least let's get my view correct. It is ambitious. Between November 4th and January 6th, I think it was an opportunity for heroism.
Just to be clear, you never said anything about
said it every step.
Let's play the clip. Guys, do we have the clip?
I've said this in countless forums.
Let's have a listen to the clip.
On your Chuck Todd splice script, in all of my written statements and everything I've said,
hold on, we're playing the clip right now.
In that period,
let's play the clip.
Between the election, here's what I would have said. We need single-day voting on Election Day. We need paper ballots, and we need government-issued ID matching the voter file. And if we achieve that, then we have achieved victory, and we should not have any further complaint about election integrity.
So what would you have done
through the Senate?
So what would you have done with Mike Pence? You would have not certified the election?
So in my capacity as president of the Senate, I would have led through that level of reform, then on that condition certified the election results, served it up to the president, President Trump, then to sign that into law, and on January 7th declared the re-election campaign pursuant to a free and fair election.
Vivek.
Okay, so I could be wrong, but I'm not wrong. What Medhi said here doesn't sound at all like what Vivek said in that clip. Medhi sounded like he was saying that Vivek was going to change all of the election rules on January 6th. That's what I heard Medhi say. That's not what Vivek said in that clip. He said he'd do single-day election where all the elections are on one day. It doesn't sound like he said he would have changed everything else on January 6th, though. I don't think his summary of that clip was accurate, but...
Not only do you not mention anything about November, but let's say you did do November. That joint session was not a legislative session. The vice president doesn't have the power to introduce legislation. Neither party would have backed such a bill.
Oh, come on,
and it couldn't have been passed in a day.
The fact of the matter is,
naive stuff
the president. The president and vice president absolutely drive legislation through Congress. That is exactly how
but
things
Trump
work.
wasn't doing legislation.
Now,
he was busy
view,
pushing the big lie, as you pointed out yourself in your books.
Well,
so he wasn't
and
there.
I wasn't
Mike
the vice
Pence
president of the
could not
United States.
have passed a bill.
And
you
I was
asked
not the
what you
vice
would have
president
done
of the
if you
United
were
States.
Mike Pence.
You guys in the
What would
media,
you have done?
you guys in the MSNBC crack me up to sort of create a hypothetical situation to say, if you had been vice president, what would you have been doing? I'm telling you exactly what I've been doing, but you're saying, but that's not what Donald Trump was doing. This is
Mike
a joke.
Pence asked you,
Let's
hold on,
actually
Vivek,
have
hold
a
on.
substantive conversation.
Hold
do you want to
on.
have a substantive conversation
Hold
about
on.
what should have happened, or do you want to play a game of gotcha? Because you have the choice. The choice is yours. Do you actually want to have a substantive conversation? If you do, I'm down to do it. Do you want a substantive conversation? What we need.
You said substantive 4 times.
Actually, if you want to get a word in, you know, if you're going to speak the truth and ask a legitimate question, have at it.
I think
Let's
it is a
actually have
legitimate question. Multiple people wondered about your knowledge of how Congress works, suggesting Mike Pence, by the way, on the debate stage asked you if you would have supported what he did. It's not an MSNBC question. It's a Republican vice president question.
Yes.
So fine, you don't want to answer
and what
it.
I'm
You
saying
think you
is
could have passed
it was
a
a
bill.
missed opportunity for heroism, not in one day, but I think that in a period of 2 months. And I think you're a smart guy.
It couldn't have been done in a lame duck
There's
Congress,
an American
Vivek. You're
confidence.
a smart guy. You know it couldn't have been done in 2 months.
I think under extraordinary circumstances,
What can somebody explain why? Why could it not have been done in 2 months? If you have an emergency session of Congress or whatever, if you bring in people, and the president and vice president absolutely can drive legislation in Congress. They can't pass it on their own, but I don't know.
Extraordinary times, we have an American Confidence in Elections Act. It's literally making its way through Congress now. ACE. I support it. I think if we had gotten that done during that window, further we said single-day voting on election day as a national.
I'm guessing he just means there's 0% chance it would pass. Yeah, but Vivek has already said that. Vivek said it would be very ambitious. He said that it would be incredibly ambitious to do that. He already admitted that.
Holiday.
And Mitch McConnell wouldn't have agreed to a national holiday.
Democrats should agree to it.
We can argue forever.
I think Democrats should agree to it.
That's a different
argument.
It wouldn't have happened.
It wouldn't have happened. Yeah, but he agrees it would be ambitious. Now we're going to move on to the next hit piece. I don't think these interviews are good. I think these interviews are harmful. It's not a good conversation. Anybody that doesn't like Vivek, I guess, is like soying out. Anybody that does like Vivek is soying out. It just seems like a super hyper partisan. Like this is like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like this is bullshit. But
I get that done when I'm the president.
Okay.
When I'm the president, not in some fantasy land where I was vice president in some other year in the historical history.
Let's talk about you as president.
What I'm running for.
Understood.
This is what we're going to do.
Let me ask a question so we don't run out of time. Please don't filibuster. I just want to ask a question about when you're president, you said this is your words, quote, if you want to stay out of no-win wars and make America stronger at home, I know how to get that done. Genuine question, Vivek, not a gotcha. How? How do you know how to get that done? With respect, you've literally never done anything like that in your life. I could go out on the street outside the studio, grab someone. They have as much experience as you do of keeping us out of foreign wars. That's not an insult. That's just a statement of fact.
No, it's not an insult. It's a fact, right? And it is also a fact that everybody else who does have experience in the foreign policy establishment has been sending us into no-win wars for a long time. Both of those are facts. Here's how I would do it. Let's get specific, and I'm glad we've finally gotten to the doorstep of actually discussing a policy agenda. Here's what I would do. Pull Russia apart in its military alliance with China. Those two countries are in a military treaty dating back to 2001. That is the single greatest threat that the United States faces. So I would end the Ukraine war on terms that, yes, allow Ukraine to at least come out with its sovereignty intact, which may not even be the track they're on right now. But in return, and also make a commitment that NATO will not admit Ukraine to NATO. In conjunction, and by the way, for people in the foreign policy establishment, they forgot that Gorbachev was made that promise by James Baker in the United States in 1990. So keep our word there. But in return, actually make a hard requirement that Vladimir Putin exit his military alliance with China and remove his Russian military presence from the West. That's the deal that I would do.
Again, the fantasy land is why would Putin just agree with you? Why? Because you asked nicely, Putin will hold his word. He'll pocket your concessions and not just carry on dealing with his biggest trading partner, China?
Well, here's the thing. I actually think that China shouldn't be his biggest trading partner. I think it's a mistake that we've closed off economic relations with Russia. I would lead both the United States and the West to reopen economic relations with Russia because Putin does not enjoy being Xi Jinping's little brother. Mehdi, you're a smart guy. Look at what he's done. He's actually sent weapons to both India and Vietnam right after the February 2022 meeting he had with Xi Jinping. There are cracks in that armor, but we need to actually open our eyes to see the opportunity staring us in the face.
Mehdi doesn't have any foreign, just guessing based on how I'm hearing it, seems like he doesn't have any foreign policy knowledge. I don't think he's going to address or counter a single thing that Vivek just said, and I think he's going to move on to another kind of like hit piece question.
We will have to agree to disagree whether we think that you can persuade Vladimir Putin to drop his alliance with Xi Jinping. You have made truth the centerpiece of your campaign. So let's talk about your trustworthiness.
Yes.
For example, when CNN quoted you talking to The Atlantic about 9/11 and federal agents possibly being on the planes, you said the quote is wrong, actually. But the quote wasn't wrong. The Atlantic released the audio of what you saying exactly what they said you said.
Mehdi,
let me finish the question.
Let me be crystal clear.
Let me finish the question.
The Atlantic should release the whole tape. They've refused to do it. Yep.
You said on Twitter Spaces last month that no, you had never supported Bernie Sanders' Masks for All legislation, but you literally put out a tweet in July of 2020 calling it a sensible idea. You also said not once but twice in June and July that the first time you'd ever voted was in 2020 for Trump, but in fact the first time you voted for president was in 2004 for a pro-choice libertarian candidate. How can people believe what you say?
So, Mehdi, let me just go through one by one. The Atlantic, yes, purposefully spliced an out-of-context quote where we have challenged them. They released the tapes. We asked them for the tapes first. They didn't give them to us. They waited then to splice them and release them publicly. I challenged the Atlantic to release that entire conversation. And what was a conversation about how many federal agents were in the field.
You said was wrong. We all heard it. We can play it if you like.
No,
it is exactly word for word what she quoted to you. You said they put words in your mouth.
Look, if you want hard facts, here are hard facts. That day, The Atlantic printed it. I said, that looks like something that never captured the character of our conversation. Can you ask Atlantic for the tapes? They said they would refuse to release the recording to us. So when Caitlin asked me about it, I said, that does not at all sound like the context of what I said. And then, it turns out The Atlantic releases a very, everybody should listen to it.
You're putting words in my mouth.
It functionally sends the wrong message, Mehdi.
Oh, functionally. Okay. You could have said it's out of context. You said the quote was wrong. It was so badly
taken out of context that it misled their audience. It was so badly taken out of context. It was basically a lie and it misled their audience. But ask The Atlantic to release it. So my view here is, here's what I've learned. The media distortion filters. Mehdi, if they are going to cut something before and after without the question of what the guy is that came beforehand, come on, why wouldn't The Atlantic? Why are they so reluctant to release the whole recording?
Maybe
Ask
because the audio they released, you're still denying you said what's on the audio. Okay, let's ask you this question. Is Donald Trump,
it's a
as
joke
you say
that
now,
the media is going to selectively edit this, and this is the way this game is played. Politics is dirty, that's okay, I'm ready for it.
It's not edited, just to be clear. Is Donald Trump, as you say now, the best president of the 21st century?
Of the 21st century. Yes, he was.
Let me ask my question. Let me finish the question. Is Donald Trump, as you say now, the best president of the 21st century, who you say you want as an advisor and a mentor if you become president? Or is Trump, as you've said in the past in your books on Twitter, a, quote, sore loser who is a, quote, danger to democracy and who did, quote, downright abhorrent and egregious things on January the 6th? Which one is he, Vivek?
Between George Bush, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, and Donald Trump, those are the presidents of the 21st century. Donald Trump is unambiguously, as judged by the results, the best president of the 21st century. Kept us out of wars, grew the economy. I give him full credit for that. I want to build on that foundation and take this country to the next level.
But you've also called him a sore loser who is a danger to democracy. Those are strong words.
Would I have made the same judgments that he has made at every step of the way? No, I will remind you that I am running for U.S. president because I am best positioned to lead this country forward.
Can I ask you what they are, Vivek? Yes. You say he behaved in downright abhorrent behavior that makes him a danger to democracy. Yes, what was it that was downright? Tell me what he did that was downright abhorrent.
Let's actually be really fair to your audience. So on January 10th, 2021, thereabouts, days after that incident, I wrote an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal arguing that censorship was the real cause of what happened on January 6th. When asked in response, somebody asked me the question, are you... That's what I wrote. I'm giving you the facts of what I said. That's a hard fact. That was published in the Wall Street Journal. When pressed on, was that condoning what Trump did, my answer was no. There's a difference between a bad judgment and a crime.
And
we
you're
need
avoiding
to
my
be
question.
able to tell the difference in this country.
What did Donald Trump do,
no, I'm not avoiding
in your
question.
view, that was downright abhorrent? Second time
I think that the thing that I would have done differently if I were in his shoes
not what I asked,
is
Vivek,
I would
with
have
respect.
declared re-election on
That's not
January
what I asked, with
7th.
respect. I'll ask it a third
That's
time.
exactly the thing I would have done.
What did Trump do that was egregious, quote, downright abhorrent, and a danger to democracy? Can you just explain to our viewers? Your words.
So you're mixing two different quotes. But what did I think was reprehensible about what happened that day? Look, I think that the way a true leader should have handled that situation should have been to actually say, this is me running for re-election, not actually litigating what is already passed and behind us. And I would have done things differently. That is not a crime, though, what he did. And the reason I have been so vehement...
You keep saying what you would have done. I just want to hear from your mouth. No,
I would not,
unless you're scared of him, why won't you say what he did that was downright abhorrent?
I'm not going to let you... You're stitching together three things from three different places to create a caricature. Do you want to have an actual conversation?
Yes, I want you to answer my question, Vivek. Three times I've asked it.
What
did Trump do that was downright abhorrent? It's a simple question. It's your words. It's on screen.
I think
what did he do that was downright abhorrent?
Somebody asked if they think it looks good or not. I think for... I could be wrong. I'm not guessing. I think for like British people, I think this looks good because I think there's like a style of interview that I see more commonly in UK things. This has happened. Piers Morgan does this a lot. That one guy that interviewed Ben Shapiro did it. I think there's like a style of British interview where it's like, hello, thanks for the interview today. In 2004, you said that you hate children with blue eyes. Can you explain what you mean by that? Oh, well, hey, thanks for bringing me here today. I'm running for the health commissioner. I don't know what that... Yeah, that's great. But, like, so you said that you hate... Okay, yeah, I said this, blah, blah. Yeah, but I really want to... Okay. So in 2009, we're going to move on to the next topic now. In 2009, you said this, right? This feels like a British style of interview. I don't know if Americans enjoy or like that style as much. Or maybe America does do it and I just miss it. Or it's common in America. But, yeah, it feels like... that feels like a British style of, like, hardcore... fuck you in the face interview, basically, yeah.
I believe that failing to unite this country falls short of what a true leader ought to do. That is why I'm in this race, is to do things differently than any prior president has done them. That's the hard truth, okay?
And that's what
now,
made him a sore loser and abhorrent.
The media
yes, your words.
and the... Well, the reality is none of that is a crime. And the reason I have been so vocal, the reason I have been so vocal is because when somebody actually prosecutes somebody for a bad judgment, and I've been clear,
I understand
he made
your
bad
objections
judgments.
to the litigation.
I would have made different
that.
judgments.
That's not what I asked about. I
That is a
understand.
distinction we have to draw.
Understood. You say you are anti-identity politics, anti-affirmative action in a party that hates the Soros name, yet you accepted a Paul and Daisy Soros scholarship at law school that was specifically set up for the children of immigrants. It was an affirmative action scholarship, and your defense for that is that you didn't have the money to pay for law school, even though you'd already made over $1 million at the time and made another $2 million.
My defense of that is somebody gives you a merit scholarship at the age of 24, you take it. At the age of 24, somebody gives you a merit scholarship, you take it. I didn't say I didn't have the money. I said at a time when I had a lot less money than now, $50,000
you said exactly I didn't have the money, Vivek. You keep forgetting your quote. You said, when I didn't have the money.
So, Mehdi, I've made this really easy for everybody. And I did this in the early weeks of the campaign. I released 20 years of tax returns.
Yes, you did.
Something that no presidential candidate, let alone somebody who's successful in business, has done. I challenge Democrats and Republicans alike, including the Biden family, to do it.
And we looked at
you know
them,
what? I released it so that you could look at them, so we can have an honest conversation.
Destiny.
Hello?
Yo, how's it going, baby boy?
Okay, I didn't even know you got perms for this room. What's up?
Why have you got a problem with that? Do you want me to leave? It's up to you. I mean, I don't want to disturb you if you're doing something important.
No, you're good. What's up?
Yo, I need some help, bro. Okay, this is not live, bro. Okay, I'm not here to farm stream or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? I just need some help. So basically, I just recently got approached by
Steak.
I see no. I recently got approached by, because I do some streams, right? I recently got approached by an org, a CSGO cases thing, right? And, you know, I don't know, but I think they're going to offer a good amount of money. But hold on, just hold the phone and let me listen, right? I mean, let me explain. And then you tell me, because I actually want to know, okay? So my addiction was sports, okay? I have done in the past, I've done dual bits as like slots. They're all boring. Right, it's boring. I just done it, took the money, and I never went back on slots. I just stuck to sports. Now, do you think that's a bad idea? Because, for example, listen to this. Do you think, like, if someone's an addict to weed, do you think the person that stops and takes heroin is gonna go back onto weed, or is that a bad comparison?
Okay, I'm gonna give you one real piece of advice, and I don't give a f if you listen to me or not, because I don't even know if there's a f troll or not. Okay, but I'm just gonna say
Why
this.
would I
Okay.
why would I troll?
I don't know, because a lot of people ask a lot of retarded questions. Okay, listen.
No.
Okay, you listen to me.
I'm not live, so I'm not doing this for attention.
That's fine.
But
Okay.
Go on.
I'm pretty sure that the gambling addiction is the worst addiction in the f***ing world. Okay, when you are a gambler, I think it's very easy to look at where you are now and go, will I be doing crazy gambling in the future? And say, absolutely not. And you're right. Like, even if you're addicted to gambling, you're not going to go from doing nothing to doing crazy gambling in the future. But the problem is that when you put yourself in a scenario where you're around gambling or have access to gambling or whatever, what you're going to think is like, I just got all this money. Why not just do like 10%? Why not just try 5%?
No, I know.
So I would say, in my opinion, I would say stay as far away from any of that as possible, because you're not going to go from 0 to 100, but there is absolutely a very slippery slide from 0 to 100. Okay. And once you see the slide, you're going to want to jump on. That's what I've heard.
Okay. I know. I started from CS:GO gambling from the start. But it was completely different. It was like, it wasn't those slots or those what's that guy, Phantom Lord shit. It was the ESL CS:GO lounge shit, where you put your knife in and you bet it on like a G2 versus TSM or something like that. You know what I'm talking about? That I only liked that. I only liked it because I sat down and enjoyed it. But this one is like, I don't know, like you're opening cases. It's just a case opening.
Yeah, I know, but it's still gonna be that same hit of like, am I gonna win one more spin? Like, honestly, like if you would ask me, I would tell you to stay away from like Genshin or loot boxes. That's what I would say.
I was gonna ask the same, like FIFA and shit like that is the same.
Sure, because I feel like all of it kind of hits on the same receptors. You get like pretty similar feelings for a lot of it. I think that a lot of it is kind of the same type of gambling feeling. Because you can walk away with the same feelings too. Like there are people that'll buy like 100 packs of Hearthstone, and then you open them, and at the end you can have like these really empty, shitty feelings, and you can also have these high feelings where you pull 2-3 legendaries in a row, or whatever. Like, oh my god, this is awesome. Like the feelings are all the programming, the wiring is all like the same thing. I think.
I get that. I know. No, I've had that before. I've had that like when I played like FIFA. I've done that before, but this is different. I feel like this is potentially different because this is a sponsor. I'm doing it for a sponsor. I'm not doing it out the blue where I want to do it. I'm doing it just to take that money. Does that sound like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's a lot of money since I used to do like, obviously I'm no longer the airport security officer. But it was I would
listen. I gave you my.
If
you listen, it's up to you. Do what you want. But that was my opinion. Okay. It literally is. Yeah. I'm just saying it's the most. It is the most addictive thing. Gambling is the worst addiction. Worse than heroin. Worse than anything else. It is an insanely difficult addiction to be. And the fact, and honest to God, and I know it might be hard for you to see this because of like how crazy the streaming world was and the reputation of blah 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 blah. Like you truly did get out in a very lucky way.
No, bro.
And I'm not even talking about people that you took money from. I'm not even talking about those motherfuckers.
Why?
I'm saying because I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about you. The fact that you were able to get in and out of a gambling addiction in the course of a few years or whatever. There are people that throw their entire lives away on shit.
I've said that. I know that. I've said that. It's like,
so I'm just saying, like, if you did get away, jail. I'm just saying, like, if you got away from all that, you did it. Like, imagine like there are like 4 million worlds in front of you right now, and in like 10 of them maybe you manage this well, but like imagine if you were able to break out like you have, all of your victims were paid off, you're not even in jail and everything's fine. Imagine if you got back into it now in the back of some dumb sponsorship, like how horrible that would feel, right?
It's true. Nah, you're right. And then at the same time I also like, nah, you're right, because like my illness, it could impact on someone else if I do that sponsor. Because for me, I saw that betting site on football. Well, obviously CS:GO, but then I found out you could do real money through football. And then like I got addicted from that. Obviously, I blame myself. I can't blame anyone else for that. But like if I do the sponsor, I could get someone else like being addicted to that shit. So nah, you're right. I don't know, bro. Money is so evil, man. Money is so evil, bro. I swear. When you hear shit like, yo,
Sliker, stop. The idea behind loot boxes being gambling itself is shaky at best, in my opinion. Now let me ask you this, Kenneth. Let me ask you this. Do you think that loot boxes, CSGO boxes, is more gambling or equal to like the Genshin fucking gacha game shit, right?
Mhm.
Is it more or less like gambling? It's the same. I mean, to be honest, I even view it lesser than. I don't think it's as bad as the fucking, pay to win games. It's not like the gacha shit. And again, when you look at FIFA, I don't think you're familiar with FIFA, but you literally pay for packs. You pay and you open packs and you get players. Nobody ever saw that as gambling. The entirety of the British YouTube team made their living.
Yeah, I'm going to be totally honest, okay? I'm just going by feeling here, so I could be wrong. I don't know if there's research on this. This is what I base my feelings off of, okay? So I don't think I have a very addictive or gambling type personality. It's not something that I get as addicted to. But back when I played poker, when I first started getting into it, I was a really shit player, and my approach to that was probably a gambling one. Here are a couple of feelings that I had, okay? One feeling would be is that I'm sitting at a table and I've just lost $300 on a 1-3 game, and I did it in a dumb way, and I feel really bad because my mind is going to two places. One is I'm thinking, what could I have done with that money otherwise? Fuck. And the second one is if I just put another 300 on the table, I think I can get it back. So one is like a sense of deep regret, and the second is the chasing the losses, okay? If I put another 300 on, maybe I can get it back, right? Those are two feelings I see. And then another feeling I get is you come away with unbelievable highs when you win, and when you walk away as a loser, that thinking of like, what could I have done with the money other ways? Like, you walk away feeling like you've been edging. I don't know if you've ever had blue balls before, but when you walk away on a loss, you basically feel like you've been edging for 3 hours and your balls are fucking about to fall off, right? Now, I think of those feelings that I got playing poker. I actually kind of felt somewhat similar, but I wasn't as invested in like opening Hearthstone card packs. Like buying or opening 100 packs and getting nothing was kind of a dog shit feeling. Like why did I waste my money on this? Like maybe I should buy 100 more. Maybe I'm like do something, And so in my mind, I wonder if people get that same type of feeling when you're buying any sort of RNG pack. And maybe they don't. I could be making that up. Maybe I'm just wrong on that. But my gut tells me that there's probably really similar feelings on every type of gambling where you're doing that. You put in a random amount of money and then you have a random amount of outcomes that are sometimes good. That like reward schedule in your brain is always producing that sort of addictive behavior. That's my guess. But I could be wrong. That's my guess though.
You know what I respect, bro? When it took me a bit to watch all like Asmongold's and CoffeeZilla and all that stuff. Like it took me like 3-4 months to be able to see a little bit. I couldn't watch myself, bro. Everyone was like, Asmongold, that ginger ass. Well, my mom's like, I don't like that guy, bro. Bro, I'ma say it, and I said it before. That ginger.
Whoa! Oh my God, Sliker! Slow down, guys. What are we doing? Okay, sure. I understand what you're saying. Listen, you don't have to like him, but Jesus, you guys are like regressing in years. Let's take a deep breath. My God.
Listen, bro. Bro, the man knew people that committed suicide, and he's promoting suicide to other people during those stages. It wasn't for me, but he's still a. I won't say that again.
Hold on, wait. You do know wait. You know I'm streaming, right?
On Kick, it's okay.
Okay, I'm also streaming on YouTube, but also for your own like reputation and life and everything. Like, what if something happens, you get back into streaming in a year, and now people just chill.
I've said it.
Also, listen, you Muslim Muhammad. I know you hate gay people too, so slow down, okay? Listen, no homophobia while either of you two homophobes are my presence, okay?
Oh wait, he's standing
keep
for
that
the
shit. Keep that shit. I'm standing for
people,
myself, motherfucker. I'm a dick sucker myself, okay? You're not gonna sit here and drop anti-Destiny slurs when I'm in the fucking room, okay? So slow down. Slow down. Yeah, slow down. Okay. Anyway, go back. Okay, go ahead.
I won't say that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
But listen to me.
No. But you can call Muslims goat on this stream. No, drop the F slur again, nigga.
Stop. Why are you encouraging this man to self-destruct? Sorry, go ahead.
Listen, gay people, I have no problem with them. Trust
me.
No
one cares. Sorry, you're watching Asma videos. Get back to that. Jesus.
No, that guy. And then CoffeeZilla, I feel like, yeah, he does reach out and do stuff, but then I feel like he doesn't really give a shit, and he feels like he just does it just to get those views and impressions, But then when I saw fucking Moist Critical, and when I saw your response, I was like, bro, these guys know how I felt, bro. On my mom's, I even reached out to you, Destiny. I was like, yo, I was surprised. Out of all people, I was like, this thing's gonna talk shit, bro. And I was surprised. But like I respect it. That's why I came to you. And asked you.
Sure.
Because
yeah, man, that was a surprise. But bro, I don't.
Wait, by the no, Sliker.
What?
No, hear me out. what Destiny just said right now, I think went over a lot of people's heads, right? When it comes to opening a bunch of packs and not getting anything, I wouldn't say that you're an anomaly. I would say that you're the average man, the average person. The average person, when they sit down, because trust, every kid I knew growing up opened FIFA packs. And they've opened 10, 20, 30 and gotten nothing and felt nothing, and they didn't feel like putting in more money. They're like, this shit sucks, and they just moved on. Most people are like that. Now, there are things that are more addictive than others. Now, of course, this could be anecdotal. This could be, in my opinion, right? I don't have any stats or statistics anyways to back it up. But I'd say if those aren't looked at as gambling, which is the FIFA pack openings, the Madden packs, honestly, people acknowledge 9 out of 10 times that the gacha games is gambling, but nobody gives a nobody cares. Nobody shits on the people that do them.
No, that
Not
pisses me
one
off.
bit.
That pisses me off. Even when I see people play poker, and they're like, "Oh no, poker's different. It requires skill." You know, when it all came out, when it happened, someone messaged me who's a streamer, but I won't mention his name. He said to me he wanted to kill himself because of poker. He was addicted to poker.
I mean, poker is a game of skill. It's different, but you can definitely treat it like gambling, 100%.
Exactly.
So there are some people that,
it is gambling. It is gambling.
Which 99% of people do, by the way. They treat it as gambling. 99% of the player base do not have any skill involved or barely have any.
When you say skill, right? When you say a face, like let's see.
Also, listen, I'm so sorry. I love you guys, but I gotta go. I gotta do a show. Okay, I love you. Be careful. Okay.
Well, that was a good conversation.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm so sorry.
You fucking bitch! What the?
I have a show at 8 o'clock. You motherfucker! You should have been in earlier. Love you. Bye.
All right, peace.
Wait, Destiny,
Really?
do you actually think that many of these people on Twitch didn't give a fuck about gambling?
Nah, I don't think any of them gave a fuck. It was just a way to. It was like proxy wars against like Train and XQC, and then like Virtue's gonna run kids because anytime kids are involved, people virtue signal. But
I mean, there was definitely a virtue signaling element, but I think they also cared. I think the reason why they cared enough to make a big stink about it was because of Trainwrecks and XQC and shit like that. But I also think they actually did care.
Okay, maybe I could just be like an asshole or too. Fuck, what's the word? Cynical. Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. Like, in my mind, if it was just to, like, get at Train and XQC, I mean, giving up how much money all of those people could be making, like, that seems
They're already
crazy.
making tons of money through other sources anyway. And probably through sources that preclude them from taking gambling stuff. Like, Pokey can never take a gambling sponsorship because it's family-friendly shit.
That's true. Yeah. The negative press would fuck over their other shit.
Yeah, and it's just going to be probably a blocker to other types of sponsors and audiences as well.
Someone in chat might have the link, but I'm pretty sure there's like peer-reviewed research that shows that like loot box mechanics actually exacerbate problem gambling in kids. So like if you wanted to stop gambling on Twitch, you would think the first step you would take is say, okay, I'm not going to play games with loot boxes, but nobody cares to make that connection. To me, that proves that it's just about Train and XQC.
Yeah, it's not that surprising to me.
Wait, I thought you said the kids' arguments were shit because, like, you hadn't seen any evidence about, like,
I haven't seen evidence that gambling addiction in kids is, like, a huge problem. It wouldn't surprise me that it exacerbates a little bit. I just haven't seen evidence that's, like, a huge problem. But gambling addictions in adults are massive problems. You can destroy your entire fucking life on it. My guess would be for kids, it's just because it's hard to get liquidity. It's hard to get cash. Like, you've got to, like, do weird shit, stealing your parents' cards. But when you're an adult, you can tap all sorts of things in your life for cash. You can start doing payday loans. You can get liens against your car and your house. You can steal money from friends and family. You can ask for an advance from work. Like, when you've got a gambling addiction, you're a kid, you just have to, like, burn through it until you fucking are done and out of money. But for, like, you're not taking on a bunch of debt as a child. But for an adult, you can fuck your life up in so many different ways with a gambling addiction. But it might prime you, yeah, someone said it might prime you to be a gambling addict later in life. That's possible. Could be.
Okay. You ever get big into opening loot boxes, Stevie?
No. I don't have like a I don't have a mind for gambling at all. All it just feels kind of shitty to me. I open like Hearthstone packs and stuff, but
well, that's a kind of a form of gambling.
I would say so. It definitely is. Yeah, I'm just saying I don't have the I don't have like the gambler's brain to get like addicted to it. It's just not. I don't have that kind of fun with it. I have like some shitty feelings. Like I think I can understand like the bad feelings of like walking away from a bad session playing poker feels really bad. Walking away from opening packs feels like pretty bad in a uniquely bad way. But I don't get like the, if I do really well for poker, like I'm excited about the good hands that I've played and stuff. Or if I draw like a good card in Hearthstone, it was cool. But I don't get like that super fucking high that people describe when you are doing well for something. I don't get that feeling at all.
I'm curious as well because you said that you more or less your red pill like shit, you're like done with it, right? And you want to focus more on election stuff, right?
Yeah, political stuff coming up now.
Are you going to go back to the red pill stuff, or what's going to happen post-election?
Who knows? Should be some. I doubt even red pill will be alive then, but who knows? I mean, there's always things to talk about on the internet, right? I wish that like I miss like the politics community. I don't know if I got unbanned on Twitch if that would come back, but I miss like the whole community of people like arguing and screaming with each other and all of that. It's pretty sad how much of a pussy everybody is that nobody could hold together a community because like nobody wants to engage. Mainly the people on the left, like Mike from PA Central Committee or Denims, like all the lefty people, like none of them want to engage politically. So then it all just kind of died and everyone just sits in a hug box.
Oh, you're talking about like when there was consistent debates between a bunch of the communities about the political. But do you really want to go back to the days of arguing capitalism versus socialism again? Because that was like 80% of it. It felt like.
Is the whatever
Sorry, what did you think?
Do you want to go back to arguing capitalism versus socialism again?
No, but I feel like arguing capitalism versus socialism, I feel like that was like for the small tier like panel people. Like I don't know if Denims would necessarily be having those arguments, or if Mike from PA would necessarily be having those arguments, or Vosh would necessarily be having those arguments. Like I feel like I had, even if we totally disagree, there were good and fun discussions with those people. Maybe not with Denims because she is unironically like 75 IQ. But yeah, I feel like. Yeah, I feel like it was fun. It's more fun than this, where nobody interacts at all, except for like the small panel shows, and then where everybody basically is now like, you know, Destiny's brand of neoliberalism. Not to like suck my dick too much, but like it feels like there aren't like huge disagreements in communities now to fight with. Even like Mr. Girl and Lav for a while like held like a good contrary position to fight with over topics, but.
Oh, I see. So you're talking about the communities that are willing to engage inside of conversation are not ones that stray very far from the positions that you hold. So it's not very...
Yeah, it's not very exciting.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think a part of the positions that you hold is being open to those conversations, and something that defines other communities is not being open to those things.
True.
And like kind of isolating yourself.
Yeah. What were you saying, K-Dog?
Like, is this stuff you're not watching right now red pill? Am I wrong?
Yeah, it is, but I'm like, that's just because there's nothing going on, and Pixie and Amy and Lauren are all on the episode. It's like 3 of my friends, right?
Oh, Pixie's on this one?
Yep.
Cool.
So that doesn't mean there's really going to be a reduction of red pill then, is it?
True, actually. Never mind. I take back everything I said about canceling the red pill. Like, we'll just go full on.
Red pill forever.
Red pill. Yeah, fuck it.
Let's
We'll just do red pill
go.
forever. Good point. Okay, thank you. Anything else? Thank you for releasing me from that bonded, horrible existence.
I just wanted to say, in terms of contrary conversations, Chaeiry's panels have been like the best thing that's happened in the space in like a long time. Like the combo with you and Adam and the content that spun off, I think is really good.
Yeah, I don't know how much of that is intentional.
Oh, the lawyer panel could have been really good too.
Yeah, Chaeiry's done a really good job. I'm curious how much is intentional versus I imagine most of it is, but she's done it. Chaeiry's succeeded for 2 really, really, really important reasons where most people fuck up. One is she has very good and relevant guests and an appropriate number of guests, and then 2 is she tends to have good topics. She also does a decent job moderating as well. Probably, I say decent, but that probably puts her ahead of like 99% of moderators in this space. Like the people that she's bringing on are very relevant to the topics being discussed and are decently big figures, which has been good. And there haven't been like any like topics of like, you know, should we censor porn and children's I don't know, just like a thing where it's like, okay, it's like, yeah. There's been a lot of panels where it's just like, I'll be on a panel with 5 people and we're like in like 95% agreement on everything, and it's just like, okay. Like I feel like the last few, not to knock anybody, but I feel like the last few like WIC panels and everything about have been basically like everybody's kind of agreed. Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to think of the other one, and it's actually the one that Relly was on, with Zerka and Dick Masterson. Like, I don't know about the political conversation, but the content was fantastic.
Sure. Oh yeah, and she did like a gym one with a bunch of lifting
in the
people and
background
stuff.
was so fun.
Yeah.
I was really hoping Pearl was going to be on that one, but she didn't. I think she no-showed or something.
Bitch.
Okay, true.
Duh.
Misogyny arc W.
Well, oh shit, true. Fuck. Never mind. Ain't no way. Current year, Kelly still isn't doing the voice.
Nothing is ever gonna change.
I want to know what this voice is. Is there a clip of this voice?
He doesn't know
Have
the
you
voice.
Why is this
not
being hyped
been
up so
here
much?
for the last 2?
He doesn't know the voice.
I don't know
Ain't
the
no
voice.
way. He doesn't know the voice.
Obama.
That's not the voice. No.
Am I gonna know it when I hear it?
Oh yeah.
I don't know, buddy. Will you?
I think you have to push Kelly into an actual argument because she has to be angry for that voice to come out.
Nah, I can do it whenever I want.
No, you can't.
Yeah, I can.
Basic reverse psychology.
Is that it? I don't know. What am I looking for?
He likes the Marge Simpson one.
Oh, she
No,
has
I like the
names
anime
for them.
voice. Destiny likes the Marge Simpson one.
True.
JSTLK, are you liberal or are you conservative?
This guy?
Yeah.
Basically a fucking Nazi. I'm pretty sure he's a fucking Groiper fan that found his way into my community somehow.
Destiny just keeps saying that. Literally was introduced to Nick Fuentes by him. Pretty terrible argument for his engagement with that guy, to be honest.
Wait, which one are you? Answer.
I'll vote. So I'm in Canada. I'll vote Conservative in our next federal election, unless something major
Oh, you're in
changes.
Canada. Okay.
That doesn't quite put me in conservative like territory in the U.S., but it's not super far away.
Destiny, if you had to pick a Republican for Biden to run against, who would you pick?
Like who I think is gonna win?
No, who would you like? Who do you desire to win?
I want Biden to win. Are you saying which Republican would I want to win?
Yeah, to run against Biden.
Because I want Biden to win, or
whatever reason you want.
Pence or somebody. I guess somebody or fucking DeSantis, somebody with no chance of winning. I would want. I guess so.
You don't think DeSantis has a chance of winning?
No, that guy has no charisma. Unless he significantly changes his shit. No, he's fucked. Homeboy is...
Wait, who has charisma then? Who has the best chance of beating Biden?
I think
honestly, God, I think it would be Nikki Haley or some shit like that.
I think we're all waiting right now. I don't think we know. Nikki Haley is pretty anti-Trump, and he's still really popular, so it's hard to say.
I think Pence would beat Biden if they actually matched up, but I don't think Pence will win the primary.
I don't know if Pence would be
so
Biden.
cringe.
It's not about charisma. It's just that he seems like an adult and he's not Biden.
Yeah, but I don't know if Republicans want adults. Okay.
I think they'll accept adults if there isn't a like petulant child on the table.
Be really nice to have a restoration of sanity in the Republican Party.
You think Pence is sane?
No,
Yeah,
I think
compared
Nikki
to
Haley
fucking
is, though.
Trump.
I think Nikki Haley, would win so many moderates and like we wouldn't have the boogeyman candidate to rally against. I think that's a really scary scenario where we get a moderate, reasonable Republican.
Yeah, Haley might be able to win. I think Ramaswamy's going to attack her on her embarrassment over her heritage. Like her name, I should Google her name again. The name she was born with is like extremely Indian, right?
Okay, but like isn't he Indian?
No, sorry, but he kept his name, right? Because he's not embarrassed of who he is. But Nikki Haley was born. What is this here? Nimrata Randhawa.
Yeah, but I mean, like, how many people have
married?
fucking changed their fucking names, right? Rafael Cruz is what Ted Cruz's name
I
was.
think Cruz got cooked for that
Wait,
by
that's
Trump.
way
actually.
cooler.
Cruz
What
didn't
the
get cooked at
hell?
all. Rubio and him got into a Spanish screaming match on stage, and then everybody laughed and nobody cared.
I do think
Rafael
it's
Cruz?
impossible.
Yep, Rafael.
That's way cooler.
I think it's impossible for Ramaswamy to win, given that he's not Christian.
Is he
Eventually,
not
somebody will
Christian?
step. Eventually, yes, he's openly Hindu, and somebody will.
Oh,
like,
no
crush him
shot.
for that.
Oh, that's an easy never, ever,
Yeah.
ever happening. Okay, weird. Why would he admit that? Why wouldn't he change before running? Because he just wants a cabinet position in Trump's party.
I mean, just to make money. I think you can do a book deal after a successful campaign, like third or fourth place finish.
Do you?
I would have sworn Ramaswamy said he was a raised Christian on the debate, but then all your articles came out saying he was Hindu. I got real confused. Was I wrong about that? Did I mishear him on stage?
Ain't no way he got that wrong.
I'm pretty sure he's openly Hindu. Yeah, so he'll say, I share the same values as Christians.